All right, yogis, let's start. Welcome to your weekly practice with me. You guys go ahead and settle down on your mats. So either Vajrasan like this, where you sit on top of your heels. If this is unavailable to you because your knees are kind of acting up, feel free to take a cushion and push it just behind your knees and see if that makes things a little easier. If that is still unavailable, you can just go ahead and cross your legs. So wherever is comfortable. Now, if you're crossing your legs and you find yourself here, you might want to get a block and raise your hips so your knees can fall down. Otherwise, just go ahead and sit in any position that's comfortable and try and increase the length of your spine. So try not to do this because, as you know, we do this almost all the time, all the day when we're working. So consciously try and pull in your lower back. Try not to let it just give out like this. So push it in and then increase the length of your spine. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Just try and maintain this tall posture and watch whenever your lower back starts giving out. See if you can just bring that attention and push it back in. Okay, so while you sit there and breathe, let's just figure out what it takes to keep a tall back and why it is that we sometimes end up with lower back pain. So there are various reasons for lower back pain, and some of them is just tight muscles and bad posture. So when you end up sitting like this, hunchback, it kind of affects your neck, it kind of affects your shoulder muscles, your upper back, your middle back, and your lower back. But then because all the weight is being carried by your lower back, that's where everything starts settling in. And you remember you're sitting, so it starts accumulating there. Another reason sometimes is tight hamstrings. So imagine your hamstring, which is the muscle at the back of your thigh, as a kind of rubber band that leads from your pelvis to your knees. Now, if that's a rubber band, and if that rubber band is getting tight, so it's kind of squeezing in, what's going to happen? It's going to give your pelvis a backward tilt. So your pelvis is going to go like this because your hamstring is tight. Because your pelvis goes like this, you obviously can't be walking around like this. You overcompensate your center of gravity by doing this. The minute you do this, you start having a rounded back. So you've got to learn to start stretching out your hamstring. The more you stretch it out, the less your pelvis tilts backward, the less your spine needs to compensate. So the minute this gets stretched, you start coming up tall. So that's one thing. And of course, when you're sitting, you just kind of lose conscious control of your muscles, your lower back muscles, your back muscles, and you just forget to kind of roll your shoulders back and grow your spine tall. So today's practice is going to be mainly seeing how we can free up the muscles in the lower back. So twists are good, forward folds are good. And then if you want to strengthen your back muscles, back bends are great. So it's effectively almost everything that we do in yoga. But today it's with the mindfulness of making sure your lower back kind of feels great at the end of it. The remaining request was for knees and a little bit of balance. You can always throw in balance. But knees, like I said, if anything is painful, stay away from it. And knees are especially delicate. And the worst part about knees is if you wear out your cartilage, a apart from kind of, doing surgery and pushing in, fake cartilage, there's very little else you can do. So take care of it. And how do you take care of it? Is to keep making sure that your knee is mobile and that through the day you keep moving enough. Now, sometimes we overuse it. And it's said that if you run too much, your knees get worn out. But if you find running to be painful for your knees, I would request you to try doing the opposite, which is don't do anything, just sit around all day. Chances are your knees are going to be much, much worse. So exercise meaningfully, don't do crazy stuff, So when we do knees down, and if that knee is sensitive and it's hurting, go ahead, fold up your mat, take a little more cushioning. When we're doing weight bearing and you're bending your knee, you can't go in too deep because your knee is paining. Feel free to come out a little bit. I mean, I know I keep asking you to keep your knee above your ankle, but if it's painful, don't hurt yourself. Come back out. And you know this, you're in control. So if you want, you can always pull yourselves out a little bit. So ease up on yourselves, but make sure you keep strengthening the muscles around the knees. So that's my little talkathon to make you a little more aware of what are the dynamics that go into lower back pain and what we can do to alleviate that pain. And ultimately, you come to a point where you realize what is going wrong and you kind of know what stretch you need to do or what you need to strengthen to get it fixed. So with that, today we're going to lie down on our backs. So go ahead and lie down on your back. Completely relax, get in with your breath. And when you're ready, keep your left leg completely straight on the mat. So keep pushing the knee down into the mat. Keep your toes going up and bend your right knee in towards your chest. So there you go. Keep bending that right knee in towards the chest so that you start feeling a little stretch on your right glute. All the time growing tall through your left heel. When you're ready, extend your right knee as much as you can. Hold on behind your right calf and just let your knee go straight and keep growing tall through your right heel. Gently, gently start pulling your palms in. If you have the flexibility, go on, hold on to your right toes and gently push your right knee straight. Keep growing tall through your left heel, so don't forget that. Then gently pull it in, pull your toes in towards your head. So you should be feeling a nice deep stretch along your right hamstring. And then bend your right knee, let your right foot go all the way down. This time, keep your right leg straight, right thigh neutral in the pelvis. Bend your left knee, right toes moving up towards the ceiling. Pull your left knee in as much as you can. While you increase the length of your inhales and exhales, try and keep a tall spine. So even here, kind of make sure your spine is tall. You're not kind of, just giving in. Bring awareness and attention to your spine. And lying down is one of the easiest ways to grow a tall spine. And if your spine is curving right, you should feel a little space just between your pelvis and your middle back. That's where you get that little curve. So keep pulling the knee in, keep the right toes going up, keep going tall through your right heel. When you're ready, straighten your left knee, hold on behind your left calf, reach the heel up even more, pull the toes back, left toes back towards your head. If you've got the flexibility, hold on to your left toe. If you haven't, just try and slide your palms up towards your ankle so that you keep pulling your left foot down towards your head. Using your free palm, try and keep that left knee straight. Keep the right leg engaged. So don't go to sleep with your right leg. Don't let your toes go floppy. Keep everything under your conscious control. Keep pulling in. 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly bend your left knee. So this is as much about the knee as it is about the hamstring. And get your left foot on the mat. When you're ready, bend both your knees in towards your chest. But keep pushing your tailbone down. So because you're pushing your tailbone down and you're not allowing your hips to rise up towards the ceiling, you're literally pushing your hips back down and then using your palms on your knees to pull your knees in towards your chest. You're finding a little length in your spine. You're also finding a little funny stuff going on in your lower back. So using your lower back muscles to keep your tailbone pointing down. Keep that going for a bit. And then when you're ready, part your knees so that your soles of your feet come together. Hold on to your feet and use your elbows to push your knees out as much as you can. So your knees are still neutral. Keep pushing, keep pulling your feet in towards your chest. Keep pushing your knees out away from each other. And then just hold your respective feet from the outer edge with your respective palms and take your feet up towards the ceiling. So the soles of your feet are facing the ceiling. Your knees are as far away from each other, and then use your palms to pull your knees down towards your armpits. If you notice, your tailbone will be rising up. Use your lower back muscles to pull that tailbone back down towards the mat. The minute you do that, your knees start coming up. Use your palms to pull your knees back down towards your armpits. So it's like a happy baby, but you're not letting go. You're keeping your mind engaged with your tailbone and your knees. Tailbone moving down, knees moving down, arms getting engaged. Your shoulders have to really work to keep those knees from moving up. If I give up on my shoulders, my knees move up. I've got to kind of really pull it down. Keep pulling your tailbone down. When you're ready, get the soles of your feet back together. Push your knees out once again. And now round your back. So lift your head off the mat. Try and lengthen your spine as much as you can. When you're ready, replace your head down, replace your feet on the mat. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Push both your knees over to the left. Extend your right arm into a twist. Keeping the same cross of the knee, come up. Push both your knees over to the right. Extend your left arm. Feels a little different. Come back to the center, uncross your knees, cross the other way. So left knee over right knee. Both your knees go over to the right. Not holding for long because it's still the beginning. Inhale, come up tall, and both your knees, same cross over to the left. Pull your knees in towards your chest, round your back, and slowly start trying to come up to seated. When you're ready, come up to seated. And if you can, cross your ankles. See if you can come up to standing without any support. Of course, if you need support, go ahead and take it. Do not stress out your knees. Do not stress out your lower back. When you're ready, keep your feet about hip distance apart. Push down equally into all four corners of your feet. Pick up your toes, spread your toes, replace your toes on the mat. Feel the arches of the feet beneath you. So this is the arch. See if you can feel it in the sense that you can feel the space beneath the arch. Once again, push down equally into all four corners of the feet, spread your toes, pull up your kneecaps. The minute you pull up your kneecaps, you'll be engaging your quadriceps and your hammies. Keep your tailbone pointing down, gently pull in your navel, towards spine, palms in front of your heart. Close your eyes, set your intentions for your practice today. When you're ready, blink your eyes open. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. First, just find length. Just become tall. Push down into your feet. Use that pressure in your feet to keep growing tall. Make sure your arms remain next to your ears. Sometimes we don't have that flexibility in the shoulder, so we may end up looking like this. If that is you, don't worry. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just being mindful of where your body needs to stop you. But if you're doing this out of sheer, like, couldn't care less, then please make a wide arc. Try and get your arms next to your ears. Reach up even more as you gently pull your navel in towards your spine. Once you've got the straight spine going, gently push your hips forward. Reach back with your fingertips. So your spine will start arching a little bit. If you want, release your chin up. If you don't want, you can tuck your chin to your chest. Whatever works for you. So you're pushing your hips forward. You should feel a little compression in your lower back. Inhale, come back to vertical. Exhale, get your palms to your hips. Find length in your spine. Relax your shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, point your tailbone back. Find length in your spine, stop at halfway. Now this is a good place to start judging whether you're rounding your lower back or not. Come back up to standing. If you've been tucking your tailbone in because you've got tight hammies and you do your forward fold, you'll end up looking like this. Because I'm tucking my tailbone forward, I start rounding my lower back. Now this is probably one of the reasons we end up with lower back issues, because we don't learn to engage our lower back muscles. Also, if you notice, the only way I can round my lower back is to bend my knees. Bending my knees means my hamstrings are tight. So you've got to learn to stretch your hamstrings and find the strength in your lower back to keep it straight. So let's come up again. Let's try it once more. This time, instead of pointing your tailbone forward, point it back. So you're literally tilting your pelvis forward. It's like if your pelvis were a bowl, you're trying to pour the liquid inside the bowl forward, your tailbone points back. With this, find length. So immediately, if your hamstrings are tight, you might find a little stretch or pull in your hamstrings. Now keep your elbows in towards each other. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades in. Think of taking your heart forward, chin up. Notice I use my thumbs to torque my lower back down so it doesn't pop up like this. Keep going until you find your spine parallel to the floor. Reach your heart forward. Use your fingertips to push your pelvis back. Pull your elbows in, heart moving forward. Inhale, come up. We'll do it one more time. We'll stop at spine parallel to the floor and then gently move down as much as we can. So inhale, spine tall, tailbone pointing back. Exhale, pull your elbows in, spine parallel to the floor, chin up. Now release your heart down as much as you can without rounding your lower back. Keep pulling your elbows in. You should be feeling it in your glutes and your hammies by now. Pull your kneecaps up, engage your quadriceps. It allows your hamstrings a lot more freedom. When you're ready, release your palms down. Keep taking your heart forward. Pull your heart in towards the knees using your biceps. Inhale, come up halfway. Release the pressure from your hamstrings. Exhale, forward fold. Feel the pressure in your hamstrings. Then bend your knees. You can feel your hamstrings relaxing. Take your right foot all the way back. Keep your right knee straight. Grow tall through your right heel. Keep taking your heart forward. Another practice in keeping the spine tall. Now, again, if you've got tight hammies, you'll end up looking like this. So the whole idea is to first straighten your knee, take your heart forward, and lower your hips as much as possible. If you keep pushing the heel out, it helps. Get your right palm next to left foot, circle your left arm up, twist. Even here, tendency is to take the hips up. Try to avoid that. Keep your hips low. Reach up with your palm and open your heart up towards the ceiling as much as you can. Push your weight into your right palm. Slowly release. Left foot all the way back next to your right foot. Your shoulders are over your wrists. Your fingers are spread. Index fingers parallel. Hips in line with your shoulders. Now, if you've got a core issue, you'll find your hips sagging down like this. In order to avoid that, engage your core, push your navel up towards the ceiling. Try and keep a tall spine. See if you can get your hips slightly above your shoulders. That might help. When you're ready, drop your knees down. Take your hips slightly back. Arch your back. And drop your heart down between your palms and chin on the mat. So knees, chest, chin. There you go. Now you're working your lower back. To keep your tailbone up, you're contracting your lower back muscles. But you're fully supported, so it's not like a deep back bend. So it's not hopefully freaking you out. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. When you're ready, walk your knees back. Relax your toes on the mat. Push the mat forward with your palms. One more little back bend called the baby cobra. So this is a real nice gentle workout for your lower back, because the only thing that's keeping your heart up is these muscles kind of contracting like crazy. You want to bump it up a bit. Release your palms off the mat. Inhale, take your heart up even more. You find your lower back and these little muscles on the side engaging. If you want to circle your palms behind you, interlace your fingers, squeeze your shoulder blades in, extend your elbows. Inhale, take your heart even higher, push your toes into the mat even more. When you're ready, release your palms back under your shoulders, tuck your toes in, come up through your knees, hips up and back, down dog. Again, notice if you don't have the hamstring flexibility, your down dog is going to end up looking a little rounded like this. So what do? Maybe bend your knees just a little bit. It's okay if your heels come up. Point your tailbone back and up. So literally try and get into a little bit of a back bend in your down dog. Then take your tailbone back and up using your palms. So push your palms on mat forward. Take your shoulders back. Then see if you can straighten your knees without rounding your back. The minute your knees straighten up and your back rounds up, stop. So keep your knees bent to a point where your back remain straight. Keep your neck extending along your arms. So earlier your arms were extending along your neck. Now your neck is extending along your arms. External rotation of the arms or the shoulders. When you're ready, look forward between your palms. Get your right foot all the way forward between your palms, a little to the right. Once again, left knee straight. So you don't want to be buckling your left knee in, because as you notice, that means it's a tight hammy. So try, even if you can't keep it straight, push that knee up as much as you can. Push that left heel back as much as you can. Inhale, increase the length of your spine. Keep your chin up. Get your left palm next to your right foot, and right arm floats up on the inhale. Keep your hips low. Maintain that strength. Use the core. 3, 2, 1. Sweep your palm down. Get your back foot all the way forward. Deep forward fold. So if you want this time, start with your knees bent and round your back. Then inhale, try and flatten your back as much as you can. Exhale, straighten your knees. Inhale, increase the length of your spine. Exhale, pull in as much as you can. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward as much as you can. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up and back. Push your hips forward and release. Palms in front of your heart. Close your eyes. Get in touch with your breath. So focus your attention to your lower back. See what's happening there. When you're ready, blink your eyes open. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. Reach, stay vertical. First, pick up your heels, come up on your tippy toes. Try and stay as steady as you can. 3, 2, 1. Gently bring your heels down. Take your hips forward. Think of taking your heart up towards the ceiling. So you're lengthening your spine and at the same time getting into a back bend. Reach your arms behind. Inhale, come back to vertical. Exhale, swan dive. Remember, flat back, point your tailbone back. So don't do this and try and get into a forward fold. Point your tailbone back, swan dive, all the way forward. Keep a flat back, pull yourselves in. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees. See if you can feel the relief in your lower back the minute you bend your knees, because you're no longer pulling on your hamstrings. Take your left foot all the way back. Keep your hips low. Scooch your right foot in towards the center line. Drop your left heel down. Heel to arch alignment. Push your left pinky toe into the mat. Come up, warrior two. Don't worry too much about your right knee. So if it's not going down too much, don't worry. Get your right palm onto your right knee. So hold on to that knee, hold it tight. Left palm on left hip. Now slowly, keeping your spine tall without folding forward or doing any of that, just hold tight to your right knee and gently push your right hip down towards your right ankle. So keep that knee supported and just see where it goes. Now the knee might want to track in like this. So use your palm to keep your knee over your second and third toes. So at all times you should be able to see your big toe. If you can't, don't worry. It's just the direction you need to be going. It's just the muscles you need to be working. Some of us physically can't achieve it. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means you're built that way. But then by doing this warrior two, what happens is you strengthen your muscles to the degree necessary to improve your posture. When you've gone down to your max and you're feeling that stretch in your inner left thigh, inhale your arms out. There are hardly any laterals today, so let's finish those. Drop your left arm, take your right arm up and back as much as you can. Inhale, come back, warrior two. Exhale to the other side. So get your right forearm on your right thigh and across. Now, when we do this, usually I've seen tendency, especially with beginners, is to get the hips up. So keep your hips as low as possible, reach across, and then push this shoulder as far back as you can. 3, 2, 1, come back, warrior two. Release your palms onto your hips, straighten out your front knee, turn your toes to face the side of the mat. Make sure the outer edges of your feet are parallel to the outer edges of your mat. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, same thing. Push your tailbone back. We're going back into the hammies, but a different set of hammies. So, there are like many of those. So you just want to kind of make sure you're working all of those. So push your tailbone back. What I mean is, don't go down with your tailbone in so that you're rounding your back. You want to go with your tailbone pointing back and up, so you go with a flat back. So when you're ready, tailbone back, keep your shoulders level, elbows in towards each other, heart reaching forward. Try and keep your hips in line with your heels, heart reaching forward, elbows in. Nice long deep breath. And then see if you can release your palms down to the mat. Now, if your palms don't reach down to the mat, it's cool. Hang on to your calves. Feel supported. Keeping your spine tall. Release forward and down. Notice I said forward. So don't just round your back and release down. Release your heart forward and then use your abs to pull yourselves in. If you get your palms onto the mat, use that support to deepen your forward fold. But keep that lower back nice and tight. So you're finding your forward fold by using your hammies and your abs. Get your palms back to your hips. You're literally working your core and your lower back to come back up, because it's your lower back that's contracting to get you up, but in a nice, controlled way. When you're ready, turn your left toes to the left, heel in line with arch, hold on to your left knee. Same thing, push your left hip down towards your left ankle. See how far you can go. Keep that knee above the ankle, knee over your second and third toes. If it's dropping in, push it back out. Hold on to the knee. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, take your arms up next to you, warrior two. Drop your right palm, take your left palm up and back. Feel the lateral stretch on the left side of your body. Keep your hips moving down and low. Inhale, come back, warrior two, left forearm on left thigh, and right arm across. Keep pushing the right shoulder back. Keep your hips moving down and low. Inhale, circle back, warrior two. Windmill your arms around. Left foot all the way back. Hold plank. Now let's just hold plank for like half a minute or so. If it gets too much, feel free to drop down to your knees, come back up. If your hips are sagging like mine, pull it in, pull it up. Try and keep a tall spine. Ideally, shoulders over wrist, hips in line with shoulders, chin up. So I don't have a watch or a time machine in front of me. So I'm just gonna guess. It's 15 seconds up. I know, it's already 30 seconds up, but what the hell? Sometimes it's good to be ignorant of the passage of time. When you're ready, drop down to your knees, bend your elbows, take your hips slightly back, drop your heart down between your palms, chin on the mat, shoulders away from the ears, knees, chest, chin. And then walk your knees back, drop your toes onto the mat. Inhale, slowly come up. So today we'll just deal with baby cobra. And then lower your forehead down onto your palms, palm on top of palm. Lower your forehead down. When you're ready, get your left forearm in front of you. Bend your right knee. Heel close to the hip. Circle your right palm around. Hold on to your right foot or your right ankle. Push that right foot back. So the minute you do that, your elbow gets straightened out, your shoulders start climbing up. So keep that pressure in the leg. So now you're like strengthening your quadricep. So you know muscles work in pairs. Quadriceps and hamstrings work in pairs. Quadricep is strengthening. It allows your hamstrings a little bit of relaxation, but you start engaging your lower back. When you're ready, if you want, take the knee up, toes up. If you want, release your left palm next to your ear. Keep the left toes on the mat. 4, keep taking it up and back, the toes. It's the foot that's holding you up. The minute I let go of the foot, everything falls. 3, 2, keep your knees in towards each other. 2, reach up with your fingertips. 1, and let it go, palm on top of palm. Relax your forehead on your palms. Let your shoulders go. Breathe. When you're ready, get your right forearm in front of you. You know what to do now. Keep your feet about hip distance apart. Bend your left knee in. Circle your left palm out. Hold on to your left foot. Push that foot back and down. Start getting your heart up because of the foot going back and down, not because you're engaging your uh, lower back to get it up. It's because of the foot that it's coming up. Of course, your lower back also engages. When you're ready, take your knee up, foot up and back. If you want, release your right palm or right arm next to your right ear. 3, stay with your breath. Keep your knees in towards each other. Keep the pressure on the foot moving up, back, and down. I know it sounds crazy, but you know what I mean. 2, 1, slowly release, palm on top of palm. Relax your forehead on the palms. Stay with your breath. When you're ready, get your palms under your shoulders, spread your fingers, index fingers parallel to one another, tuck your toes in, come up through your knees, hips up and back, down dog. Enjoy your down dog. So now you know, so you can experiment with bending your knees, taking your tailbone up and back, and then straightening out your knees, pushing your heart as far back towards your knees as possible. Don't worry too much about the heels reaching down to the mat. It happens naturally for some of us never will. No big deal, as long as you feel the stretch down your Achilles tendon, down your calf, down your hamstring, that's all you need. Look forward between your palms, get your left foot all the way forward between your palms on the center line. Drop your right heel down, heel to heel alignment, right toes in at 45 degrees. Push your right hip forward, left hip back. Inhale, come up, warrior one. Now, once again, if you think knee is a problem, hold on to your knee, feel supported, and then push your tailbone down and forward as much as you can. You can just stay here if you like, so keep pushing your right hip forward with your right palm. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, go into a little bit of a back bend. Take your chin up. Stay with your breath. When you're ready, come back to vertical. Straighten your front knee. Keep pushing your right hip forward, left hip back. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, fold forward over your left knee. Now I am stopping at horizontal and just trying to understand what my spine is doing. It's very difficult to make out because you can't see where you are. You can see what I'm doing. So I feel there is a little bit of rounding in my middle back. So what I do is inhale, take my heart forward. So you notice it kind of goes in. Push my left hip further back, which means I'm getting a lot more stretch on my hamstring, loosening it up. That gives me the space to grow my spine taller. Then exhale my heart down to my knee. If you want, release your palms down. That will allow you to push that left hip further back, gives you a little more room in your hammies, and therefore a little more room to move down. Stay with your breath. Enjoy stretching out your hammy. When you're ready, bend your left knee. Windmill your palms all the way up. Warrior one. Palms onto your hips. Straighten your left knee. Turn your feet in so that once again you're parallel. Outer edges of your feet are parallel to the outer edges of your mat. Your feet are about 2 shoulder width apart. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale. Now, try not to twist your hips as much as you can. Of course, there is some amount of twisting. You can't help it. Get your left palm outside your right calf. Take your heart forward and exhale. Pull your heart into your right knee. Use whatever support you need to loosen up that right glute, and then you feel it in your right hammy on the outside. So pull yourself in. Use your breath. Keep your hips over your heels if you can. Inhale, slowly make your way back up to standing. Get in touch with your breath. See how you feel. When you're ready, inhale, take your right arm up. Reach, grow tall. Usual thing, get your spine tall, and then exhale outside your left calf. Keep that left knee straight. Pull yourselves in to the extent you can. Keep your hips over your heels. Pull in. Feel the stretch in the outer left hammy. If it gets too intense behind the knee, feel free to bend your knee just a micro bit. If you can, keep that knee straight. Slowly come back up. Inhale, circle your arms all the way to the side. Interlace your fingers, take it up. Reach up, push down with your feet even more. Use that energy to make yourself as tall as you can. Exhale, one last time, forward fold. Go as deep as you can. And then inhale, come back up, tall. Exhale your palms to your lower back, behind you. Squeeze your elbows in, push your hips forward, take your heart up. Chin up. And release. Turn your right toes to the right. Left heel in line with right heel. Left toes in at 45 degrees. Left hip forward, right hip back. Right palm on right knee. Bend your right knee. Go into warrior one. Supported. So hold on to that knee. Feel supported. Keep that back knee straight. When you're ready, use your left palm to push your left hip forward. Keep taking your tailbone down and forward. Think of taking your heart up to the ceiling, maybe chin up. If you find this kind of challenges your balance, stick your chin to your chest. So back bend. Slowly come back to vertical, straighten your right knee, push your left hip forward, right hip back. Inhale, spine tall, exhale, fold forward, stop at horizontal to the floor. Now here, use your right palm to push your right hip back. Use your left palm to push your left hip forward. See if you get a little more space to fold forward a little more. The more you push your right hip back, the more space you'll find, both physically and also through the right hammy, which is giving you space. If you want, release your palms down, pull in. Get your palms back to your hips. Slowly, slowly, slowly make your way up. Bend your front knee. Inhale back to warrior one. Exhale, windmill your palms down. Back foot all the way forward. Feet are hip distance apart. Keep your fingertips either at your ankles or you're holding your feet or on your mat. Keep your hips over your heels. Straighten your knees. Fold in. Then find a flat back. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. And palms in front of your heart. Close your eyes. When you're ready, blink your eyes open. Transfer all your weight into your right foot. Bend your left knee. Hold on to your left foot. Keep your knees together. So we're going into dancer's pose. Try and keep your pelvis neutral. So tendency is for dancer's pose, people kind of open one hip over the other. So the knee starts displaying out. Try to avoid that. So the best way is to start with your knees touching each other. Then just push your foot back and down. So exactly what we did when we were lying down. This time you're just standing up. That's all. You've just changed your position with respect to gravity. So if you notice, the same thing is happening. Your elbow starts opening out, your shoulder starts lifting back. Then just think of taking the bent knee back and up. That's it. Don't think of taking it to the side. Think of just taking it back and up. If you want, hold on to furniture, push that foot back and up. Without that push, it ends up looking like this. Zero energy and, wobbly. The minute you engage your foot, everything starts looking like, yeah, it's happening. So if you notice, my pelvis is still level. I'm not opening up like this. So keep your pelvis level. If you can, reach your right arm next to your right ear. Reach up with your fingertips. Reach up with your toes. Keep that knee in towards the center line as much as you can. 4. If the balance becomes too much, you can bend your standing knee a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. Shake it out. When you're ready, let's move to the other side. So push all your weight into your left foot, bend your right knee, hold on to your right foot, keep your knees together. So notice it's not coming forward, it's not going back, it's together. Push your foot back and down. So that opens out the elbow, opens out the shoulder. Then just move the knee back and up, no splaying out, back and up, back and up, back and up as much as you can. Push that foot into the palm. Use the palm to keep pulling the foot back, but the foot says, no, 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 I'm going to go back and up. If you want, release your left arm next to your left ear. Your standing knee can be straight if you can manage the balance. If you think it helps, keep the knee bent, no big deal. Protect your knee. Stay with your breath. So it's a gentle back bend because it's a balance. You obviously are not doing a deep back bend. Keeps the spine strong. So you need both, if you notice, strength and flexibility. 3, 2, 1. Slowly let it go. And then gently bring it down to the mat. So here are a few poses that would help with opening out your lower back. Of course, first we start with strengthening, or yeah, why don't we just start with opening and then we'll do the strengthening, the bridge pose later. So when you're ready, keep your right knee straight, bend your left knee, keep the knee down as far as possible. Push the foot into the thigh. So we could have done a vrikshasana, but well, we haven't. So to start with, one is to just do a simple forward fold. But if you want to open up this side, the left side a little more, just take your left arm up, stay tall. Exhale, get your left palm outside your right calf. If you can, right ankle. If you can, right foot. So you're getting into a little bit of a twist. This side, your left side, lower back, is kind of getting stretchy. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, fold forward. Now this palm you can use next to you just for support. So keep trying to get this left shoulder across your right knee and down and forward. You can use this palm behind you to keep pushing you along the way. Use your breath. Inhale, keep your spine tall. Exhale, pull your navel in, fold forward. So your heart is literally falling outside your knee. Slowly come back up and release. You could equally have just gone straight forward, so you're neutral. You'd get a different uh, stretch on your lower back. But I just wanted you to experience this so it kind of releases one side of your lower back more than the other. When you're ready, switch your legs. So get your left knee straight, your left thigh is neutral in the pelvis, your right foot against left thigh, right knee down as much as possible. Make sure you're sitting on your sit bones. Come up tall. Inhale, take your right arm up. And exhale, right palm outside left calf or left ankle or left foot, whatever works. Now, you'll obviously start getting a stretch right here itself. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, forward. You can use your left palm behind you to gently push you along the way. Remember, inhale, spine tall. Exhale, fold forward. So it doesn't matter how low you get, because that's purely a function of your flexibility and how much your hammies can give you. But as long as you feel the stretch along your hammies, along your right lower back, that's all that matters. Once again, your heart is falling outside your left knee. Reach your heart forward towards your toes and out at a diagonal rather than just down. Make sure you're not rounding your back like this, because no use really. We can do all of that in yin all you want. But right now we're working on strength and flexibility. So let's just stay with the program. And slowly release. Quick twists so you can sit cross-legged. Get your right palm outside left knee, left palm behind you. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, twist. Come back to center. Left palm outside right knee, right palm behind you. If you notice, my shoulders are still facing the front. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, twist. And release. Let's get into bridge. Nothing like a bridge to work the lower back muscles. By now, I'm sure you worked them enough. But these are gentle movements. I'm not getting into deep back bends because that can really stress your lower back. And the idea is to just strengthen, not stress. So get your ankles as, your heels, sorry, as close to your hips as possible. For some of us, this is where it stops. And that's fine. Don't worry. You've got the knee flexibility. You can get it all the way here. It doesn't matter. Push the outer shoulders into the mat. So push down deeply with your outer shoulders. Keep your palms on the mat. Point your tailbone up. When you're ready, take your hips up as high as you can. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. You know how to do that by lifting your shoulders. Keep taking your hip points in line with your knees if you can. If you can, interlace your fingers beneath you. Squeeze your elbows in towards each other and push the mat down with your forearms. Keep taking your hips up. You can just stay here, enjoy this. If you want, push your weight into your left foot. Take your right foot up, but keep taking your hips up. You don't want to do this. You want to keep taking your hips high or reach up for the ceiling. Bend your knee, come back. Take your hips higher. Take your left foot up as high as possible. 3, 2, 1, slowly release, and slowly release your hips all the way down. Now straighten your left knee completely. Pull your right knee in towards the chest. Remember, we started like this. Now here's the one which is like my favorite go-to. if I've got lower back pain. So I pull the knee in towards the chest. Then I hold the right knee with my left palm outside the knee. And exhale, just push it down, but keep my right shoulder on the mat. So it's like a twist, and I just stay here. For those of you who want to take it deeper, hold on to your right big toe and straighten your right knee. So you kind of keep your left leg on the mat so it's not kind of falling forward. You are straightening your right knee. Your glute and your hamstrings are getting stretched. You're obviously feeling it in your lower back. So just hold this for a bit. Use your breath to calm you down. If you can, use your palm to keep taking your foot up towards your head. And if all this is too much, feel free to bend your knee and just push your knee down with your palm. And slowly release. And yogis who used to come to the terrace would remember this is where I come, push my feet behind your, one in front of your knee, one behind your knee, and then kind of just try and separate your knees as much as I can. So if you can get someone to do that for you, but mindfully go ahead. Okay, get your right knee straight on the mat, pull your left knee in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little hug. When you're ready, right palm outside left knee goes down towards the floor. Your left shoulder remains on the mat. So just stay here if you want. If you want, hold on to your left big toe. Straighten out your left knee. And then pull your left foot in towards your head as much as you can. And if you want, of course, no need to do that. Keep your knee bent. Just use your right palm on your left knee to push it down. You kind of get a little deeper stretch in your lower back. Start deepening your breath. Slowly release into your most comfortable Shavasana. Relax, let everything go, give into gravity, melt into your mat. Get into your breath. Check in with your lower back, check in with your knees, check in with your hammies. Take a nice long deep breath in, hold your breath for a bit. When you're ready to go, bend your knees in towards your chest, exhale. Keep pulling in and then gently rock from side to side. Once again, check in with your lower back. When you're ready, roll over to your right, turn your face down, blink your eyes open, come up to seated, wherever's comfortable, Vajrasana, cross-legged, palms in front of your heart, bow your head down. Yogis, that was about lower back and knees. I hope I could convey the fundamentals to you. You know your body best. If there is an acute issue with your spine in terms of, space increasing between your vertebrae or decreasing, or the pads kind of squeezing in, you need to be a lot more careful. And then it always helps to keep a tall spine and then just gently move through the various forward folds, back bends, twists, laterals. If your doctor's told you to avoid something, then please avoid it completely. So be mindful of your practice. And hopefully, if the more you practice, the suppler your spine remains. And I think that's so important as we keep growing older. So interlace your fingers, inhale, last stretch. Always remember tall spine, tall spine, tall spine. And exhale, release. Namaste, yogis. As always, love to practice with you. If there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise,